Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, King Alarm confirms a company vehicle involved in fatal crossroads crash. King Alarm Security Company has confirmed that one of its drivers was involved in the Easter Monday vehicular crash in St. Andrew, in which a senior citizen died, and has given a formal report to police. General Manager of Operations Delano Virgo said contrary to reports in the media, the incident was not a hit and run and that the driver has been cooperating with the police. Icodale Wright, a 71-year-old janitor of Berwick Road in Kingston, succumbed to her injuries after she was hit by one of the company's vehicles in Crossroads, St. Andrew, about 6:30 a.m. The mother of two was struck while on her way to work. According to Virgo, following the accident, the driver alerted the company, which called the police while the driver remained on the scene. The company executive said King Alarm is saddened by the incident, and after learning about the victim's identity and address from the article published in the news today, visited the family to offer support. We've met with family members and have expressed our deepest condolences, and we will keep in touch. The incident is very tragic, Virgo said. Wright, who is affectionately known as Miss Bev, was described as very humble, kind, hardworking, and deeply rooted in her church. Her granddaughter, Chantel Williams, who lived with her along with her 3 children, said yesterday that the family is struggling to cope. She was the breadwinner, the peacemaker. Everybody could count on her for anything. Just before I went to the country, she sent bun and cheese money for the family, Williams said. She always brought the family together. She was the head. She was the one everyone called for help and advice. Williams also said that Miss Bev played an active role in raising her grandchildren, often washing their clothes and taking them to and from school. She was expected to travel to the country with the family on Saturday, but changed her mind, saying she needed to work on Easter Monday. The Crossroads police are investigating the incident. St. Elizabeth elderly man dies after hit and run in Junction. A 69-year-old man died from injuries sustained in a hit and run in Junction, St. Elizabeth. Dead is Overton Simpson, a farmer of Ridge District. Reports are that about 5:45 p.m. on Monday, he was walking along Melsham Road when he was hit by a motorcyclist who did not stop. He was assisted to the Black River Hospital, where he died while undergoing treatment. The Junction Traffic Department is conducting a probe into the matter. 66-year-old farmer charged for allegedly chopping man with machete. 66-year-old Westmoreland farmer Weston Quest has been charged with wounding with intent after allegedly using a machete to chop a man in Flower Hill District, Hanover on January 10. The Lucy police say about 6:30 a.m., Quest reportedly approached the man and used a machete to hit him. A struggle ensued between them, during which Quest allegedly used a machete to inflict several chop wounds to the man's head and the left shoulder. The man managed to escape and reported the matter to the police. Quest later turned himself into the police on April 22 and was charged. He is scheduled to appear in the Hanover Parish Court on Tuesday. Bug named a person of interest in Lawrence Tavern shooting. A person of interest has been named in a case of alleged theft and shooting in Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew, that Jamaica Labour Party Senator Delano Wright says involved his driver on Sunday. The police have not released the name of the complainant or their associations, but Wright made the connection in a statement on Tuesday. There was a shooting incident in the Lawrence Tavern area involving my driver, who is a former member of the military, and responded to a serious threat. I was not present and none of my vehicles were involved. The incident occurred outside the constituency and after my driver had completed his duties with me. Fortunately, no one was injured, Wright said. He added, based on the information available, I do not believe the incident was politically motivated. The police say the case stems from alleged larceny of a motor vehicle. Acting Superintendent Randy Sweeney, head of the St. Andrew North Police, said the shooting, which did not involve the police, took place along the border main road near Oberlin High School. We have conducted several operations targeting him, but it proved futile. We only have his alias, who goes by the name Bug. I could just use this opportunity to appeal to him to turn over himself to the Lawrence Tavern Police Station or Constant Springs CIB, he told the news in an interview on Wednesday. Sweeney said the series of incidents took place between about 12:15 a.m. and 2:40 a.m. on Sunday while the complainant was at a wake. The man reportedly suspected that his vehicle, which was parked along the roadway, was being broken into by men linked to a nearby vehicle. According to the police, the complainant pursued the suspects in his car, but shortly after realized that the wheels of his vehicle had been tampered with. It suspected that the lugs were removed. Sweeney said in a bid to escape, the suspects reversed, and the shooting incident took place in that instance between the suspect and the persons who were pursuing the suspect, not the police. Sweeney said there is no information suggesting political motivations. Nothing like that was brought to my attention, he said. In a related development, a man who had reported that a car he rented was stolen has since been charged with creating public mischief. Police suspect the report was false. We are of the view that the vehicle was intentionally given to one of the suspects who was committing several criminal activities in the Lawrence Tavern area, Sweeney said. Tensions have escalated inside the JLP in recent weeks over internal succession plans in the St. Andrew North Central constituency. Veteran JLP MP Carl Samuda, who currently holds the seat, has signaled the plans to step down. Save Right confirmed on Good Friday that he has applied to replace Samuda, a move some insiders say disrupted an expected announcement about the party's plans. Fire destroys house in Lane Pass, Stony Hill. A fire of unknown origin destroyed a house in Lane Pass, Stony Hill, St. Andrew this morning. Firefighters from the Stony Hill Fire Station responded to the blaze around noon. The news understands that no one was at home when the fire started. Neighbors reported seeing smoke coming from the house and alerted emergency responders. There were no reports of injuries, and the cause of the fire has not yet been determined. Residents expressed a concern about the disabled vehicles parked along the lane, which they say hindered the fire truck's access to the scene. Maria Dean's mom to take the stand Friday. Mercia Fraser, the mother of Maria Dean, the construction worker who was fatally beaten while in police custody, is expected to retake the stand Friday in the Westmoreland Circuit Court. She was scheduled to testify this afternoon, but a decision was taken after the lunch break to push it back until Friday. Fraser was among two people that the Crown was expected to call to the stand today. The other is an individual who had taken a swab of Fraser's mouth. 3 cops are currently on trial for Dean's death. The 3 accused are Corporal Elaine Stewart, District Constables Marlon Grant and Juliana Cleavon, all of whom are charged with manslaughter and misconduct in a public office. Meanwhile, the defense lawyers representing the 3 cops completed their cross-examination of the Crown's 8th witness, who was on the stand from last week. During cross-examination, the witness was shown images and a video from the Barnett Street Police Station where the incident took place. Martin Thomas, the lawyer representing Stewart and Grant, later attempted to have the images entered into evidence, but this was ruled against by the presiding judge, Justice Courtney Day, on the basis that it did not fall within the principles of the 1976 Arm versus Peter Blake appeal case. Meanwhile, Dalton Reed, the lawyer representing Cleavon, told the witness that while he had started his testimony last week, that Cleavon came to him and asked him that he see nothing to investigators from the Independent Commission of Investigations. Cleavon was not present as he had left with the ambulance and did not return. However, in a clash with the lawyer, the witness insisted that Cleavon had returned. The allegations in the case are that Dean was arrested for possession of a ganja spliff and placed in custody, where he was brutally beaten on August 3, 2014. He sustained severe injuries to his brain, which left him in a coma. He died 3 days later at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. It is alleged that the 3 cops were on duty at the police station when Dean was beaten. It is further alleged that Stewart, who has an additional charge of perverting the course of justice, instructed that the cell in which the attack took place be cleaned before the arrival of investigators from the Independent Commission of Investigations. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.